Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 119. This time I read The Amazing Spider-Man 167, 1977 issue. My copy. Pretty nice shape. A little dinged up here on top, not bad though. It's a very nice copy. Very proud to have this one in my collection. Something going on down here, I'm not sure what that is. Same creative team that we've had over the last several issues: Len Wein, Ross Andru, Mike Esposito. We start with this great splash page by Ross Andru. I'm always gushing over Ross Andru. It seems like whenever I do these Amazing Spider-Man issues, I'd never read these before. So this is my first time really diving deep into Ross Andru, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. If anybody's been around the channel for a while and listened to the other Old Nerd Reads videos where I've read the previous Amazing Spider-Man issues in my collection, probably just about every single episode has me gushing over Ross Andru's artwork. He's probably my favorite artist right now. George Perez has been doing some good stuff on Avengers and Fantastic Four occasionally, depending on who is inking him. I really like George Perez's stuff at this point, but Ross Andru is just consistently knocking it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. But this is basically a video game. See, Spider-Man's being shot by this laser. Looks like the old 70s video games for us old nerds that remember that far back. But it's just Jonah Jameson playing video games with his new Spider Slayer suit. Marla, what the heck is Marla's last name? I forget. But she's the doctor who helped Jonah come up with this new Spider Slayer armor. She's showing slides of Spider-Man, projecting them on a screen, and Jonah is using the armor to shoot at the slides at Spider-Man in these slide pictures. Kind of funny. But we're just basically what we're doing here is demonstrating the new Spider Slayer's capabilities. She has this fishing pole looking device that shoots something that's close to Spider-Man's webbing. And the Spider Slayer armor has this pincher that can cut through the webbing. It's got the Wolverine claws sound effect snicked. It's also got this grapple claw, and they all just project from his chest plate and do these tasks. It's also super strong, bends this piece of iron, and it's Jonah. Jonah isn't inside the suit. He controls it with this what does he call it? Psycho-cybernetic helmet. This thing right here. So he's just practicing, getting ready. They've got everything ready to go. So he's ready to take this new Spider Slayer armor out for its trial run. Meanwhile, we're going to cut away here to our side story, and this is the introduction of a new villain. Although, even though he is stealing things, we're not sure yet what he's stealing them for. This is the first of Will-O-The-Wisp. He is a character I don't know much about, because this is kind of before my time reading comics. I didn't start reading Spider-Man until the early mid 80s, really, when I was a kid. So these from 76, 77, these issues are before the time that I was reading. But Will-O-The-Wisp was kind of big, I think, for a little while. He showed up in a few issues of Amazing, a few issues of Spectacular, I believe. But this is his introduction right here. These two truckers out in New Jersey, overnight, they get visited by this glowing ball, and it hypnotizes the driver, and he crashes the truck. And then we see this glowing ball is actually a man. It's Will-O-The-Wisp. There's something in this truck, and he steals it. However, it does say that even though he robbed the truck and caused it to crash, he takes care of the drivers before he takes off and leaves. It says that he bandages their minor wounds, making them as comfortable as he can, and then he leaves. So, is he a good guy? We'll see. This is kind of a funny side piece right here. Aunt May is on a picket line. her apartment building is, her landlord is trying to get rid of the rent control of her apartment building, so she's protesting. She's kind of unhinged. It's a little funny. But Peter and Mary Jane are supposed to be going for coffee and donuts, but Peter's spider sense goes off, of course. There's somebody's watching him. And so he's able to cancel their date, send her home on the bus, saying that he's got things to think about, and she's okay with that. So, is this Frank Thorne? I've been looking at this. I think that's a Frank Thorne, but I can't tell. Okay, now we find out who's following Peter Parker. It's J. Jonah Jameson, is the Spider Slayer. He knew that if he followed Peter Parker, he'd get led to Spider-Man. And this is another great Ross Andru panel right here. I love how he does these poses of Spider-Man in the foreground of the picture, and with whatever he's confronting, with whatever Spider-Man is confronting, just in the background. It's great. I love it. So we have a little fight here, a little skirmish, but Spidey's able to outsmart him. And this is J. Jonah Jameson with the psycho cybernetic helmet on his head. And we cut to Flash Thompson, Harry Osborn, Liz Allen, and Harry Osborn's psychoanalyst shows up in this Corvette, and he looks like kind of a sleazebag. His name is Dr. Barton Hamilton. Now I can't remember. I'm thinking that he has something to do with Harry Osborn slipping back into the Green Goblin persona after a while. Maybe I'm not sure. I can't remember. Probably Papa Rick knows. But I didn't read these back then, so I'm not exactly sure. But it rings a bell. It makes my Spidey sense tingle that this psychoanalyst, this Barton Hamilton, is not a good guy. We'll see, though. We'll see. Now, this page is funny. So since Spider-Man got attacked by J. Jonah Jameson again with the Spider Slayer armor, he hides in the back of Joe Robertson's car. Joe Robertson gets in his car, and Spider-Man pops up in the back seat and scares him. But he wants to ask him if J. Jonah Jameson's been acting strange lately, and Joe Robertson is accommodating at first and says, no, not really, just cackling over some strange envelope he keeps locked in his desk. But then Joe Robertson immediately gets angry. He says, not that I'd tell you if he was acting oddly, Wallcaller. Sometimes you presume upon our rather tenuous relationship far too much. That was my home you showed up at tonight, Spider-Man, and I'm not happy about it, not at all. If you want to talk to me in the future, mister, see me in the office, understand? Leave my private life alone. Spider-Man's like, oh, I'm sorry. Don't apologize, Webhead. Just get out. And I mean, I think that's an appropriate response. Just somebody sneaking into the back of your car like that. Yeah, well, good for Joe Robertson telling Spider-Man to use a little tact next time. The Spider's Web, the letters column, just basically has a lot of praise for the Kingpin storyline that happened a few issues back. People are really liking seeing the Kingpin again. They're liking Len Wein's writing on Spider-Man, and we even get this is kind of funny. The art was again magnificent. Ross Andru is quickly becoming one of Marveldom's better young talents. And then down here, the response, you made rip-roaring Ross Andru's day, but considering he was applying his talented pencil to paper in this industry, illustrating the adventures of a certain Amazon princess and a band of metal marvels, among countless other things, Back when lively Len Wein was still in grade school, we somehow doubt he can be called one of comicdom's young talents. So in other words, Ross Andru's been around for a while, but this letter writer called him a young talent. now this is where it gets a little nuts. Spider-Man breaks into Jonah's office and forces open his locked desk drawer and steals the envelope out of there that Robbie told him about. The night watchman comes. Spider-Man hides on the ceiling, and we pass over St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's something Ross Andru does. He always puts something from New York City, a landmark of some kind. He did the Navy shipyards back in that Kingpin story arc a few issues back that everybody was celebrating because he did such a good job. You can tell, like, he does a really nice job, like um, drawing actual New York City landmarks and adding them to the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. But as Spider-Man's heading out, he wants to read the contents of the envelope he just stole. He spots Will-O-The-Wisp, and Will-O-The-Wisp disappears through this wall. And Spider-Man peeks in through the window and sees him change into the form of a man. And he's stealing an envelope, just like Spider-Man just stole an envelope. And here we get our first good look at Will-O-The-Wisp. Pretty cool looking. So they have a fight, and it seems like Spider-Man's a little outmatched. Will-O-The-Wisp has control over his molecules. He can dematerialize, and just make his fist materialize and punch Spider-Man right out the window. This was a funny one. Iron Man and City Crisis. This is one of the Hostess Twinkies ads. But I thought that the villain in this was funny. Quirkegard, a philosophically sinister villain, aims his existential depression ray at New York City's water supply. He makes everybody in New York City depressed. That's philosophy. And then we see that the building that this is all happening in with Will-O-The-Wisp and Spider-Man is 30 Rock, the home of NBC Studios. But Spider-Man's falling. He's discombobulated, so he doesn't know which way is up. But he's saved. Will-O-The-Wisp envelops him in his golden light and slows his fall so that Spider-Man can get his bearings and shoot himself a nice little web cushion to fall on down in this ice skating rink in front of 30 Rock. And the MacGuffin here, the envelope that Spider-Man thinks is his, fell out of his suit. He tucked it down his pants when he left J. Jonah's office. Must have fallen out in the fall. He grabs it. Will-O-The-Wisp thinks it's the same one that he stole. So now we're going to have another showdown. But Will-O-The-Wisp freezes Spider-Man. He's able to freeze Spider-Man, immobilize him so he can't move. And he wants the envelope because he thinks it's the one that he stole. And in the background, Jonah's back. The Spider Slayer has tracked him down, so Spider-Man, immobilized, has to deal with a brand new villain and an old pain in the butt as the Spider Slayer makes his approach. So next issue, it's going to be Warfare on the Great White Way in Broadway. Good issue. Very good issue. I am probably most consistently happy with the Amazing Spider-Man title at this point. 119. This is the 119th episode of Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. I would say the Amazing Spider-Man has consistently been the best title that I've been reading. Highly recommend Amazing Spider-Man back here during Len Wein's run. And for that fact, like, I started reading probably around the time Roger Stern was the writer and John Romita Jr. was the penciler. That's like the earliest stuff that I can remember reading when I was a kid, which is several years after this. But and I think everything that I read when I was a kid is in the Amazing Spider-Man, no matter which creative team was on it, it was always good. So, but this is really, I'm really happy with the Amazing Spider-Man at this point. Anyway, what do you think of the Amazing Spider-Man back here in the 1977s? Were you reading it back then? Did you collect these? Did you not like it? Did you like it? Let me know down in the comments. If you know any other old nerds that like this kind of thing, I'm doing this video series, Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. I'm just reading my Marvel Comics collection in publishing date order and doing a video on each issue. If you know any other old nerds like us out there, please share a video with them so they can check me out. Subscribe if you would, if you haven't already, and leave me a like, comment with anything you'd like down below. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.